Looks like your credits went through just fine. Fantastic. Now, where was I? Right. You were asking about the mercs. Nox Solaris. Well, friend, you have come to the right man. Been their humble street pharmacist since just after they got together. Some of my best clients, by the way. But more importantly for you, they're the best there is at what they do. I mean, what a group. Leader's a bona fide Atlantean voyager. That's right, Atlantean. Then there's the spooky techno-wizard cyborg genius. Finally, a mystic smithy giant. 12 feet tall if he's an inch. Not to mention the mountain of a spirit bear he calls brother. Now, I can get word to him if you're looking to hire Mister. No problem there. Just let old Blitz give you 2 tiny tips for your health. First, don't get on their bad side. Make sure you have payment ready to go, and don't try to pull any bullshit, or you're worse than dead. And second, don't piss off that fucking bear.
Finally, there you are. The Nexus had just enough power to fuel one more try. The last step. The Megaverse knows my Atlantean people as heroes, but a shadow of chaos has taken root in me. They try to bind it. They try to bury it. But when I finally called out to it, to you, from across the void, you answered, I am ready.
Welcome, traveler, to the Black Shore.
Your shame reaches a mother's heart, even beyond the veil, little brother. My sister saw and mocked her as the darkness closed in. She giggled and synthesized honey-sweet tones while leaning close to softly breathe her venom into my ear. And so, with judgment passed and tourniquets in place, my family commanded the automated surgical bots to neatly slice both arms and legs from my torso. The harsh lights overhead swam and dimmed before my eyes, as flesh and bone were replaced with cold, unfeeling metal to cripple my connection to the arcane. Now, my family lies far behind my path, and I follow a new teacher as she whispers from the darkness ahead. Her voice haunts me with promises of forbidden knowledge and wonders precious beyond compare. Each step brings me closer to my prize, closer to my revenge, closer to her.
Nah, brother. My eyes read the stars as keenly as your ancient ones do. It is almost here. E is almost home. And with him comes the end for our proud and noble Vana countryman, along with the rest of the souls on this world. As his foul shadow falls upon us all, we alone stand for those who cannot. Ugh. So rise, son of Aku. Our ancestors smile upon us this night as they call us home. Come and let us earn our place amongst the stars above.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Prism of KeterFall campaign in the Rifts setting of Palladium Books. We are here with our players, Ren, Akama, and Ymir, as we're getting back into the action. Their group is just now meeting back up after several different adventures having taken place with the group being split. So we are now ready for everybody to start moving forward together. As Ren, as you have finished up eating your meal and are heading over to the dorms to find your companions, they round the corner and stumble upon you at that exact instant. Ymir and Akama, you guys look up to see Ren's form in an almost kind of contemplative kind of pose as he's getting himself ready to set off and head somewhere else. He had sat down on a bench and consumed some food, apparently, and he still has a bag with quite a bit of food under his arm as he's setting off. You guys all come together. And as you recognize your companion, you guys are definitely relieved, as the last time you had beheld him, it appeared that he was in the company of an incredibly hostile, to you at least, cybernetic organism. That cybernetic organism had leveled its massive energy weapon at you and pronounced that you were a threat and that it was about to attack you before you were whisked away on your last adventure. Now that you see him here simply finishing up a meal, you, like I said, you're very relieved that apparently he made it out of that situation unscathed. Other than that, he doesn't really look any worse for wear. Ren, as you're looking at your companions, the same cannot be said. They look like they have had an incredibly difficult, trying and taxing day. And as they look up and look at you for the first time, you can see a true measure of relief in each of their eyes. And this definitely hits you a little bit, knowing that they definitely were concerned about, you know, what the fuck happened to you. You guys are all starting to form a more cohesive unit, and you're all hit by the notion that now that your group is back together, you're up to full strength again, and it makes you all feel a little bit of relief. Okay, at this, Wotek, the huge spirit bear,
that is Ymir's eternal companion, plods across the cobblestone of the monastery floor and quickly crosses the distance over to Ren, upon where it plants its feet and nudges you so hard with its massive snout that it nearly knocks you over and sends your food flying out of your hand. But you recover, and after this, Wotek lets out a loud snort of simple approval before flopping its ass down on the ground and leaning down and starting to clean itself. Not anywhere inappropriate for public, but definitely starting to take to grooming as he feels that this is all that needed to be said. So, as you guys rejoin as a group, what does everyone wish to do? By the way, real quick, let me really quickly give you a synopsis. You guys are basically in the overall monastery complex. Give me 1 second here. Oh, that's right. It's maps and backgrounds. There we go. In the overall monastery complex that you're in, you guys are currently in kind of like some sort of like alleyways that go between the different sections of buildings. And where you are right now, there are several workshops where Ren just was that are very close to the actual dormitories where tourists can book lodgings, where you guys have already secured a room. So you essentially are right next to where you guys could retire for the evening, but you're also very close to the kind of food courtyard. That's where you two had just come from, Akama and Ymir. And then there's also the kind of main cathedral area that you guys had first explored and gone down into the bowels of. So all of those areas are relatively close by to where you are, with the dorms being literally adjacent to your location right now. There aren't a lot of tourists left out. It's well past dark. And it seems like for the most part, you're still hearing chanting and you're still hearing some activity. That sounds like more like regulated, just normal practice for the actual tenants of these grounds. So you've got all kinds of different worship still happening, but for the most part, the tourism is shut down for the day. You do, however, as you look up in the sky, you see that the tried and true trusty airships still appear to be soaring about in the dark gloom of the evening sky. Distant lightning will sometimes illuminate them clearly against the black sky, but for the most part you can keep track easily as they have lots of commercial lights set up all along their exterior in order to maintain safety. And this is a practice that apparently it's kind of like in any major city, seeing air traffic overhead. This apparently is just how things are done here. It's like a 24-hour transportation and tourism kind of operation. So right now you're seeing about 4 of these in different positions and elevations, kind of just roughly circling overhead. Okay. Now, what would you guys like to do? Sorry about that.
Hey guys.
Whoa, man, what's up, man? It's been a while, eh? Hope you got some tinkering done.
Actually, I made love.
You
I'm just
have?
joking. No, I'm joking. I got some stuff done.
You're sick fuck.
Yeah, it was interesting. I could tell you more about it as we move things on. That weird old guy came looking for me, and I don't really feel comfortable about talking about much here at all.
Yeah, it's getting late. I'm about to go lay down. It's been a wild day, at least for the both of us. So
Do
I'm
you guys
probably gonna take
get into a
little
little scrap?
nizat.
You guys look a little.
I feel like we should talk about this more in the room
Sure,
than
sure.
out here.
Maybe not even room. Maybe once we get back on the road. But sure, whichever you think.
What do you think, Ymir? And I look at Ymir.
Ymir, a sense of Red can see on Ymir's face, like Wotek, an audible or a visual sense of relief on his face can be seen. He raises his cup that he still has in his hand from the bar towards Red and goes, "It's a pleasure to find you safe, Master Tinkerer," and finishes his cup quickly before setting it down on a bench. And he goes, "Yes, we shall speak about it tomorrow, maybe, when we are on the road. For now, let us rest. Today has been a trying day for myself, for my shield brother, and for Brother Akama. It's best that we gather our strength for the road ahead."
So returning to the room, I guess.
Okay. Do you guys want to start heading to the room?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. Your group quickly just kind of assembles. Ren, just wanted to confirm, as you left the room, we're going to say that as you left the workshop, we're going to say that you put your creations into your pack instead of just making sure.
Yeah. No, I would have definitely packed those back up. I'm not gonna keep those out. I don't feel
Right.
secure at this point.
All right, man. So, all right. So you guys quickly
As
get
we
over.
walk,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as we walk, Ymir tells Wotek to head towards the stables because they are retiring. So he wants his shield brother to be at optimum strength for the road ahead. So he tells Wotek to retire to the stables where mega damage animals are kept.
Okay, he lets out just a massive snort as he kind of eyes you wearily, and then he gets himself righted and slowly plods off in that direction, silent now. And let's see. Okay, so you guys quickly get back to the dorms. As you get inside, it's just very Spartan conditions. It's just got, mattresses. There's one large bed for an oversized humanoid, and it's enough that you're going to be comfortable, Ymir. Your massive frame is pretty heavy, a pretty heavy lift for any kind of furniture, but it's going to be comfortable enough. You're used to sleeping in the snow on the rocks, and something like a mattress that's too soft is often a problem for you. So anyway, so you lay down and appreciate just the kind of crude comfort it affords, and realize that it's going to work for you. You guys will say you quickly start kind of getting gear and stuff, uh, packed away, start getting things kind of cleared out and assembled how you're going to want them while you're resting. Does anybody want to have all of their armor on, or do you guys want to how do you want to sleep for the evening? Like, what do you want to have basically equipped and off? You know what I mean?
Since Ymir already showered earlier that day, I feel like, and especially with his armor being as sparse as it is for his frame, he wouldn't take a second chance on being ill-prepared, like not having his boots on like he was last time this happened. So I'm just gonna say that he tucks the massive hammer underneath or nearby underneath the cot or the large giant bed, and tucks his axes down. But as far as his armor is concerned, yeah, he's pretty much still fully armored. Just doesn't have hasn't activated his amulet or anything, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Okay. All right, so it's more like you're doing like a nomad's nap where you're
Right.
just, you're
Right.
basically laying your head on your pack type thing, but not quite that
Right.
way. So,
Right.
and
Right. Exactly.
okay, and then you guys, where are we at? And if there's anything anybody wants to, like, if there's something you want to set up, something you want to do before you start kind of getting, actually set to lay down, just let's go ahead and go through that stuff now.
I am going to.
And keep in mind, guys, I do want to let you know this is the time that obviously people trained in any kind of military protocol or as any kind of mercenary or a warrior. This is the time people sharpen their blades, they clean their weapons. This is the time they check their boots and powder their socks and do whatever the fuck. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
just want to give you an opportunity. We don't have to get too into the weeds, but if there's anything in particular, this is your opportunity. You know what I mean?
Well, then I would like to cover that underneath Nomad's nap. Ymir checks his weapons, his armor, make sure that all the blood's cleaned off of it, if there is any, or any rust or dents or wear. He's starting to work on it and polish it out, or try
Okay.
to. It encompasses that Nomad's nap. He's making sure his gear is ready for the next day's journey ahead
Okay.
before he lays his head actually down.
We're going to
Fair
say, absolutely, since we're going to say that since you haven't really had an opportunity to do this, since you've been through some shit, an hour would be more than enough to cover all of that.
Perfect.
And since you're not like fucking dripping head to toe in blood or
Yep.
Guts or whatever, which obviously, guys, that's always a good thing to have a wizard in your ranks that can cast cleanse. That really comes in handy a lot more often than people think it would. So all right.
Okay.
Anyway, so that'll take you about an hour to get everything, fucking sharp on all corners again.
Right.
So moving over to Akama, what are you wanting to do?
Right when we step into the doorway, I want to go ahead and turn on my 3 eyes just to get a quick inside view, or if there's anything out of the blue, any mysterious folks just hanging out in our area.
Okay. As you're
that
doing,
also cover see invisible and stuff like that. Your three
Yes.
eyes vision. Okay.
he's like, yes. Fuck yeah,
I was
man.
gonna do that if it didn't, so that's why I didn't want to double down. So
That's cool. Yeah, man. Fucking A. Okay, so you activate your tattoo of supernatural sight, and as your new awareness opens upon the image of the room, you look around at the walls, the ceiling, the floor, the furniture, and you're actually not seeing anything at all that appears magical, psionic, anything of that nature. You don't really see anything out of place or any kind of strange auras. For the most part, everything looks pretty mundane and just normal. You see absolutely no problem with the toilet, the sink, the small kind of little kitchenette area, the faucets there, everything. You're not noticing anything at all that really triggers any kind of warning signs or looks out of place at all. You do notice that there's a kind of pervasive field of some kind of like magical or holy energy that seems to almost be like, it's almost like there's motes of dust in god rays coming through shafts of light coming through a barn window from high above, where most of the barn would appear dark, but you just see these glowing motes floating up towards the windows, sort of. And in that way, you're just seeing that effect kind of scattered everywhere evenly. So you're positive that it's just kind of like an area effect. And other than that, yeah, nothing additional.
Alright, cool. I let out a great alright. And then I will knock back the drink I got in my hand and go and do my business in the bathroom.
Okay. You go take care of your Atlantean business.
Hell yeah.
And luckily they have the 3 clams, so there's no toilet paper issues for you. Let's see. The 3 shells, I guess I should say.
3 she-shells, John Spartan.
Let's see. So you go in and take care of your restroom needs there. You also notice that you could probably use a shave. Do you want to include that?
Sure.
Okay. And have you showered lately? Did you showered after you worked out, didn't you, or no?
I sure did.
Okay. We could say that you shaved when you showered if you want. That would make sense.
And me a clean sweep, yes sir.
There you go. Okay, so it only takes you a few minutes to get finished up. You kind of check your teeth and do all the shit you need to do. And as you are finishing up and coming out of the restroom, let's jump over to Ren. What would you like to do as you come into the dorm?
Once the door is closed and locked, I would set my drones, both of them, out to kind of run sentry on the room while I took a shower to clean myself up.
Okay, so Ren produces these and places them on the work table in the center of the room as he checks them out.
And then, yeah, so they'll basically be hovering and kind of like scanning the door, and if there's a window in here, just kind of keeping an eye on things. I would have them if there was like a planned guest or a knock on the door for them to come alert me, but also like not stay open in the room. I don't have the feeling that people really like the use of my parts, but also maybe these I'm not sure about, so I don't want them to be out and about around other people. So I'll use them for their intended purposes, but not, out in the open. So in the room I feel secure, but if someone was gonna come to, whether it be drop off towels or something, I don't want them to be seen, basically.
Okay.
Stealth mode.
So I would take a shower. After the shower, I would come out. I would kind of go over my. I would use manipulate objects to help me do all this quicker.
Okay.
And I would kind of just. You would basically see my arms and legs as I was going over each one, kind of like you'd see it kind of open up, like expand. So I could look at the interior, see if there's anything that needs to be cleaned, maybe go in there with like a wire brush, or maybe even a softer brush than that, and cleaning some things out that might need to be cleaned out. Kind of inspecting back and forth, looking through the joints of the fingers, joints of like, elbow, knee, toes, stuff like that, kind of going over everything.
Okay, give me 1 second. So as you first, I would just want to hit 2 things real quick. As you first interface with the, what are we going to call these things? Because orbs is going to make me chuckle every time.
I call them Kodo and Podo. Like,
there you go. There you go. So as you interface with them the first time, you didn't really have an opportunity to do this earlier. And as you do, you realize that putting the time you did and the resources you did into the design specs that you did, without revealing too much, you realize that one thread in particular really is paying off, because the basic interface, we'll say, is extremely intuitive, and you're noticing that you have a very good simpatico going on with your creations. In giving them audible directions, oral directions, you're not having to activate your telemechanics, okay? And in that alone, you're kind of amazed, because you have computer programming skill, but this is beyond, You literally didn't even go through the rudimentary steps of coding out like an operating system for this. You took this entirely new kind of approach in the design process, and the outcome was spectacular. You feel like these things could actually understand fairly complex oral instruction without you having to upgrade to connecting with them on that other level, okay? And that in and of itself, you realize that if you can work on that and develop that, you get almost like giddy thinking about the potential of how smart you really might be able to make these things, and through this extension of your technology into other threads, all of your creations. So this in and of itself, you almost feel like you really have started like your own little form of life, because you could see this expanding exponentially onto a much, much more sophisticated intellect. Anyway,
I
that
will not
being
share
said,
any of that information with you, Mir.
so as you interact with them, though, you tell them to take up kind of a observation posture, and you just wanted them kind of watching the room while you took the shower, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so they fly up into opposite corners and begin just doing a completely silent, just hovering, kind of rotating 360-degree rotation pattern around the upper few feet of the room. And they're just slowly scanning round and round and round as you are doing what you're doing.
Do they emit light or
No, they don't appear to be
okay?
emitting any kind of light, and in this way, you as a smith, as a machinist, in some ways, you're amazed because this level of sophistication is this. You know that this is way more advanced than the spheres your companion had initially picked up to start tinkering with. And I mean, not just more advanced, it's like the jump between internal combustion and electric. It's that
Right.
significant of a leap. So the fact that it's not emitting light, that it looks very tight, buttoned up, like it was manufactured and fabricated in like a facility. All of these different things about it really impress you, as well as the fact that they're 100% silent as they're hovering around observing the room. In fact, it almost gives you a little bit of pause because you knew that your companion was gifted with technology. You've seen him perform some impressive feats, but this seems way out of his league, way out of his league.
I will also say for aesthetics, for my own personal thing, like if they don't put off a light, but like if you're speaking with them or communicating with them, it's almost like a digital little like circle pupil will appear on their lens to like almost
Gotcha.
like they know what's happening. Like you know that they're aware. It's kind of like you turn something on, a light goes on. The light's not on because you don't want it to be on, but when you're communicating with them with a friendly
Right.
nature, they will have like not like expression, but there will be like that like kind of like they're looking at me because that little indicator is showing me that they're paying
Right.
attention. That
Right.
Now, I will say this, the light that comes on in the center that denotes that, they are only capable of two lights right now, red and green. And that is
Okay.
essentially the only way that they're going to be able to communicate with anybody else. Now,
Gotcha.
we'll get into
I haven't figured out yellow light yet, so it's just red green.
but we'll get into kind of their capabilities more as we go on. But for now, I think that's a good baseline, is if they have to communicate with others, that's about as far as it goes.
Perfectly.
And
Well, Ymir would be impressed by the craftsmanship, regardless of whether it was technology or not, because it's not like the crude technology of his homeland. He's
True.
seen what the miracles of technology can do to certain mega damage animals, like hawks that have lost their wing, and then they give them a bionic wing that makes them fly perfectly again. He's seen the miracles of that kind of mastery at work as far as technology is concerned, where his different, or where his hatred of technology comes from, is the much more crude tech of the Russian warlords that are petrol based, uh, that spew massive fumes into the air everywhere.
Yeah.
Invasive type technology as
Right.
opposed to yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I just wanted to ask because Ymir could appreciate the craftsmanship of such things, even though they would be technology. So perfect.
You know, Ymir, you actually look at this tech and it reminds you more of the artisan work of some of the master smiths that you would see that would make like magical artifacts in your homeland as like their life's goal, just to, you know, just keep learning about the process of fabrication, where you'd have some people doing the actual like forging, and others, because not everybody's a Kuznia, right? So some there's for most people it's a group collaborative effort to do just what your guy can do. And
Right.
this reminds you more of the work of like the master jewel smiths and the people that come up with all of the filigree and the decoration and all of that kind of stuff. It's amazing to you that it's so elegant in nature when, like you said, you're much more used to kind of like technological butchery being the
Right.
kind of, order of the day. Okay, so as they're hovering around, you take your shower.
And then after shower,
Ymir.
I was gonna clean out any wet and other parts of my limbs.
Ah, yes. Okay. So go ahead and roll for me your mechanical engineer skill, if you would. You're going to enjoy a bonus of plus 20 on this roll. Beautiful. Okay, so as you get yourself set up with your toolkit and your little accessories, you quickly field strip your prosthetics and begin completely cleaning everything that needs to be cleaned. You do notice that you had a pretty serious problem in one of the articulation points in one of the knuckles on your left hand, and you're able to address that before any kind of real problem can take hold. With just a few little replacement parts, you're back in business at 100% strength, and the old materials are placed back into your kind of little recycling bin. Other than that, everything else just takes a good deep cleaning, and you're back right up to 100%. Had you taken damage to your plates? I'm trying to remember. Let me see. Let's take a look at your character sheet. Okay, plates. Base is 31 and you're at 11. So,
Where do I see that at?
under profile and under the very top section, there's one of your armors is called plates.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I took 20.
So we should say that I'm going to say that per hour you could restore 5 MDC through normal means of taking plates apart and inserting new ones and basically just replacing the plates. So 5 MDC per hour of that.
So it'd be 4
And
hours for me to get that back.
yeah, and I will say that you have enough plates in store, because this is obviously something you know that you're going to need a source of, at least for now. You have enough plates in store to do 100 MDC worth of repairs because you had really stocked up. Let me make a note of that. 100 MDC. And we're going to take... did you want to go ahead and do the 4 hours to restore all 20?
How much time do we have to sleep?
You guys are supposed to be...
I don't want to spend too much time working if I have to sleep at some point.
I'm going to say... I think we were at, what, about 10 o'clock at night?
What time are we getting up in the morning?
Yeah, if we're
I can spend 2 hours and do half of it, I think. That way I'll still get some sleep.
Okay. Yeah, you feel like that'd definitely give you a full night's sleep. And if you had to cut into it, it wouldn't be very detrimental, but if you're good with 10 points, that's doable without it even really touching you. So
I've got 100 to go, to spare left over, not including the 31 that's on me. So I've got 131 total basically to pull from. That's on me, and then the 100, or is it just 100 total?
You had 100 in reserve, and 31 were already equipped, which that went down by 20. So
I still have 100 left with 21 points, so I can pull 10 out of that 100 and have 90, and then the full 31. Correct?
Yeah, let's just say. Let's see. I'm gonna say that. It actually makes sense for you to have more like... We're going to say that you had 150 points total before anything happens tonight.
And that's including the 31, correct?
Correct. The 31 is basically just on your body, and then just assume in like a mega damage case, you've got 150 of, points of armor for it. And so after tonight, if you spend 10 tonight, you're going to have 140 in reserve. And you'll have brought that
31 on me. Yeah, okay.
And you'll have brought that 11 up to 21. If you want to use 10 now, you could go ahead.
Can I pull 10 from my reserves and put it in?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, I'll be back to full on my MDC, and then I'll have I'll be down 10 total in my total, right? Because I repaired 10 of it.
Yeah, the only thing is that you're currently at 11 MDC, so if you want to spend 2 hours putting...
To replace cost, that takes that amount of time too? Okay.
Yes.
I thought repair is what you meant.
It's essentially the same thing. That's...
Okay.
I mean...
Then I will spend the 2 hours to get my MDC back to total. I'll be down 20, and I'll try to work on that when I have time next time. To repair.
You'll be at 21 if you use 2 hours.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll be at 21, and then I'll be shy 20 total still, but then I'll try to repair next time to get all of that.
Let's put it. I understand. Well, so right now I'm going to raise you up to 21 on your current MDC, and then in the note. There we go. And then in the note that I have, you had 150 total kind of like points of MDC worth of plates left that were just your stash. And because you just took 2 hours with 5 points per hour, those 10 are coming off of your reserve store. So now you have in that big case, you've got 140 points worth of this plating, okay? And your current total is 21, so you're only down 10 from your maximum. Does that all track?
Yeah, no.
Perfect.
My current armor is only 21 out of my 31, and my current reserves is 140 out of 150.
Correct. Absolutely.
And it takes an hour to repair or replace.
5 points. Correct.
So if I spend 2 hours the next day, I can get my MDC back to 31, but then I'm down 20 that need to be repaired, and then I can use time to repair those unless I need to replace and do more other stuff.
Yeah. What I was thinking is repairing isn't even really an option. Let's think
Oh,
of
okay, that's
these.
fine.
Let's think of these as like roofing tiles,
Sure.
and
Repurchase. Okay, that's fine.
yeah, and absolutely. And so you'll just fabricate new shit, right?
Sure. Cool.
Okay, perfect. All right,
Less
good.
math equations, and that's better. Cool.
Look at that. We just got a whole mechanic all taken care of. Perfect. All right, so as you're all set with that, you finish up your work. Akama has now got lots of time to figure out what he's wanting to do. What would you like to be up to, bro?
As I walk out of the bathroom to see that Ren walks by me to go use to shower, basically,
Mm-hmm.
I tilt my head back and I say, "Hey, Ren, are these your mech balls floating around?"
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They both hover, pivot,
I'll
and
pinch-
look
I'll
at you
pinch
as
my-
you say
I'll
this.
pinch my nose as I go in the bathroom.
Man, Atlanteans. Woo! I don't know if it'd smell like nothing or like a fucking dead carcass in a jungle, but it'd be
Also,
one
no, it's-
extreme or the other.
I had some of that greasy ass food that they left me, so I just had a feeling.
Oh. I go and I check the locks to make sure that it's all secure.
Okay. As you do so, you notice that the locks are no joke. It seems like they take security relatively seriously, and you feel like with the sturdiness of the door, it is a mega damaged structure, as are the walls. With the sturdiness of the door, the locks, etc., you feel like, you're short of somebody coming by and bombing the facility. You're probably going to be in fine shape tonight and not need to really sleep with one eye open.
I would guess
Ymir
the
nods
drone-
his head approvingly, seeing Akama's actions, understanding what he's doing, checking the security of the place. So he as he's maybe sharpening one of his axes, he's just he nods his head in approval, seeing what Akama does.
I would think that one of the drones would, the closest to the door, would stop and focus while you were checking the door, while the other one continued to spin, and then as soon as you backed away from the door, would continue its just continuous motion.
Absolutely.
Now, as you, go ahead, Akama. Sorry.
You good? So I'll take off the padding that I have, my padded armor, and I'll basically nicely fold it next to my bed, and I will pull out my knives and start getting it sharp and ready. And
Okay.
once I am done with that, I'm gonna basically tuck one under my pillow and then have one like sheathed in my waistline, and that'll be done for me, and I'll be sleeping.
Okay. All right. So you get yourself nice and comfortable. Yeah, you're all set. You feel like you could use a couple of sips of water, so you down a couple of those. And for the most part, as you look around, you actually feel relatively comfortable here. It's a welcome feeling. This has been a crazy little adventure so far, and you're actually looking forward to getting a good night's sleep for the first time in a while. Okay. So you get yourself all kicked back. Okay, anything else anybody's wanting to do tonight before they retire?
I was just going to say, while Ymir is, after he nods towards Akama's actions, as he's sharpening his axes, he enters sort of a meditative state, thinking everything else kind of falls away as he's checking his tools like a master craftsman would, making sure that they're perfectly ready. And because of this, a spark of inspiration starts to form in his brain. And he thinks about his newly acquired horns and how he can possibly craft a set of armor in the future that would encompass his new royal horns of Aku that he's been blessed with.
Nice. Yeah, you actually get a good ways along kind of envisioning that. You start considering what would work, just as a fundamental design and a framework, and yeah, you feel like you've actually made some headway on that subject tonight. Um,
Also, if I could, um, with all the physical training that he went through with the post, Ymir is also very anxious to hone his hand-to-hand skill on the battlefield, so he thinks about weapons or way that he can possibly get even more up close and personal with his enemies in the future as far as weapons are concerned.
okay, all right, excellent. Um, okay,
Incorporating
good.
hairstyle with a pair of hastesses or some such.
Okay, interesting. Let me see. Let me make a quick note. Okay, good. Um, all right, excellent.
Things I wanted to foster. That's
Yeah,
all.
no, fantastic, man, fantastic. Um, okay, now for casters, I do want to mention that if you guys essentially all will get more out of meditating than you will out of sleeping. And it's because how much of your discipline has been focused on this act. It's actually more rejuvenative, both physically, mentally, and as far as recharging your powers, than sleeping is. Now, that being said, even though it gives you essentially the equivalent of 2 hours of sleep for every hour that you meditate, normal, restful sleep, there's no real replacement for that. And so, what the almost like foundational practice of any kind of magic user or mage, whatever, is that they will meditate first and allow their body to basically recharge up. Just from a strategy standpoint, allow their body to basically recharge back up in all the ways that are accelerated, and then once they've hit that or close to that, where they know that the rest of a full night's sleep will get them the rest of that way, they'll basically switch over and go to sleep at that point. That's the way I've always run the meta of magic in Rifts anyway. And I feel like it makes sense because, like I said, in the rules, it's almost like a 2-for-1 difference. So I give you guys the option to kind of, however you want to handle that side of things. But obviously, if you ask what I recommend, that's the way you're going to see 90% of any magic users in this setting act from my point of view, if that makes sense.
I was gonna wake up like 2 hours earlier than we're supposed to meditate for 2 hours.
That's fine. However you guys want to handle it. I just wanted to mention.
And this is encompassing that then with Ymir. He's meditating, sharpening his weapons, sort of in that meditative state as he formulates these ideas and such before he's laying down to go to bed. Think of it like a wind down period.
Good.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Okay. All right. And Ren, how about you?
Okay, quick question. Meditation is just a solo act instead of sleep that I can't do anything else while meditating.
You can be thinking about things. You can, for the most part, you're not really going to get a whole lot of
physical stuff done, but mentally.
Yeah, you can definitely be. Yeah, you can definitely be working on things mentally. You can. That is definitely a part of meditation. So.
So yeah, I was gonna plan on meditating right after I finished. It's kind of a thing he does with. He gets down on his knees and puts his mother's sword in front of him. The Wakazaki. I can't talk right now, cat.
Wakazashi.
Yeah. Sorry, my cat was making biscuits and I was trying to talk, and then he got in my face right after I started stumbling with my words. Like, I guess he was trying to help. Yeah. He puts that in front of him, displays it in front of him, and then just kind of bows down and kind of goes into a semi-trance where a lot of times it'll be kind of a it's not always, but when he has nothing else, which isn't super often, but when he has nothing else, it'll be kind of like a little like prayer to his mom type thing. But most of the time, it's him just winding down his brain through all the things that he's brainstorming so he can actually get to sleep.
Quiet reflection.
Okay.
And today's going to be a bit rough because it's been rough the past week or so because of so much shit's been happening, but today's going to be especially rough because of just all the newfound knowledge and other things. So he's going to try to get some sleep, but I don't know if you want me to roll or something like that to see how much I can actually wind down and actually get to a comfortable state so I can sleep.
Oh no. That's one of the really, really great things about this mechanic is that meditation is like, it's basically a skill that you guys all have, and magic users, you have to have a really strong grasp and ability with meditation across the board. So you guys, meditation is almost like a skill, but it's also like a super ability where everything heals way fucking faster.
So I understand that. I was saying he might just struggle with it today, which is why I said maybe like if you wanted me to roll for this particular day because I was so overwhelmed and have so many things going on.
Honestly, not even necessary. You guys are able to fall into this kind of meditation, strangely enough, even if you're like on the verge of combat, like, somebody has to recharge a few PPE really fucking quickly while people hold the door kind of thing, can be done with meditation. It's that strong. So, okay, so you guys are all, we're just going to say that everybody basically retires for the night after their meditation or directly. Everybody gets all their activities done, and you guys very quickly are able to fall into a deep sleep. And everybody seems, to drift off without any kind of real problems.
Sorry for how loud I snore, boys.
Yeah, man, that'd be nuts. That'd be nuts.
You wake up with my two drones doing a sleep apnea test on you?
He's got his sheets halfway down his fucking throat. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Just need to make sure this is all okay. All right, so as you guys are sleeping, you all are able to essentially get a good restful night's sleep. Each of you has small elements of some of the different strange experiences that you've been encountering, just kind of filtering through your mind throughout the dreamscape that you experience. Some of them are pretty nightmarish, because you guys have actually witnessed some crazy, dark, horrific crap over the last few days. Some of them are actually kind of inspiring because you guys have also participated in helping, strangely enough, a great number of people in getting a paycheck, and all of that felt really good. You also are starting to elevate your stature and the kinds of things that you're dealing with, the challenges that you're facing. And so there's a sense of kind of growth and progress that goes along with the themes of kind of, where your dreams take you. But strangely enough, each of you seems to encounter some kind of being that you can't quite place. None of you actually remember seeing this creature or encountering it anywhere. But each of you in turn has this strange creature just appear somewhere very prominently in your dreams. And it says nothing, it does nothing, but its mere appearance and the way that it stares at you and smiles and the otherworldliness of the quality of that part of your dream. There's something about it that it stays with you more than anything else that you encounter in your dreams that evening. So much so that each of you experiences a speeding up of your heart rate, a speeding up of your breathing, and a kind of restless, kind of uneasy sleep directly at that part of your dream. And as each of you are experiencing that, you actually all three simultaneously wake up and kind of gaze around the room and see each other all sitting up at the same time. You know that this can't just be a coincidence, but as each of you begin looking at each other and taking a few steadying breaths, you guys hear a knock at the door. And as you look over at the front door, you guys all look up and see the drones hovering around, undisturbed, still in their same pattern. And you see that nothing else in the room seems to be disturbed or upset in any way. You all feel rested, you all feel rejuvenated, but you all woke up at the same moment. What would you like to do? As you look around, you can tell that it is almost sunup. It's very, very close to full daylight.
All of my drones return to me to their secure spot immediately, just so they're not out and about.
Excellent. They return within a few seconds, and you get them packed away.
Slightly perplexed why they did very little to nothing at the knock as well. Didn't seem to focus or do anything different. They just stayed in their regular pattern, so a little perplexed. I'll look around at the other two.
What was it you were wanting them to do if somebody knocked?
Just to alert me, but they did nothing.
Oh, you guys all woke up. Okay, I guess I wasn't taking that as if they knew you had heard the knock kind of thing. I get what you're saying though. That makes sense.
It did wake me, but like I figured they would have done at least motion towards me, like in verification that I heard, as opposed to doing nothing. But if that was the intended thing that you just misunderstood, then that's fine. I'm not. But
I get you. I get you.
I still have them come back to me no matter what, because I don't want, others seeing what I have at the moment, things like that. So
absolutely, you get them stashed away very quickly, and you're quiet as you do it, so it's not a problem as far as alerting anybody anything. Akama and Ymir, you see him hop over and begin taking care of his drones to get him out of sight. You guys are both sitting up in bed. What would you like to do?
I would like to use monster magic lore and see if I can recognize the being from the dream in all of them. Vana, have any tales or anything of any particular being that comes in your dreams at night or anything like that?
All right, as you lean your massive 12-foot frame forward and rub your head wearily, you begin searching through the files of memory, seeing if the lore of this creature might be within your grasp. Why don't you go ahead and do a skill check? We're gonna do a -5 on this skill check. A -5.
Can I also do a demons and monsters lore check?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and do the same, but you're going to be at a -5. And that's just because you guys are literally seconds from having just woken up at a start.
I don't know how to do a -5.
Does it say like add or bonus when you go to roll?
Input value, whisper, public roll, whisper roll. How about I just roll and then put a minus on top of that?
That's fine. I think
No, I got it. It was right after.
Ah.
Wow, that shit was close.
What the fuck? That's doing plus or minus 69. That's right, though. That's weird. Okay. 52.
Well, it's adding a -5. That's what it's saying.
I see. I see. Okay. 30, 48. Okay, so Ymir, as you're trying to consider what this creature could have been, you're just too fucking tired, and you shake your head kind of frustrated and instead decide to kind of get up and stretch and get your blood moving and see if you can get your brain
Check
actually
my
working.
weapons and
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so
Close
you
that
you
door.
get up and get set, and Akama, you realize right away okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, we need to go. Like. Okay, Akama, are you somewhere else now on the tabletop?
I want to